Hey there, if you're listening to this podcast right now, you're probably into cryptids and monsters. Well, if you have a creative spark, you can always join us in our first ever Supernatural Selection zine project. For 2024, we are doing cryptid encounters, where you can draw or write a encounter with a cryptid of your choice, and we'll put it in the zine. The current submission window is from early January to late June. If you're interested in finding out more, you can always go to supernaturalselectionpod.com/zines. That is ZINES. Now back to the show.
Hello, you've fallen into the distraction hole. I'm your host, Kevin, and this week we've got Mike. Mike, how are you?
I don't know. I'm working, no problems, no major issues.
Mike, are you working undercover for the man?
No.
Oh, cool. And we've got David. David, how are you?
There is a non-zero chance that I might fall asleep as we record.
Hey, I was nodding off earlier. I was watching Project Farm and falling asleep in my chair.
Yeah, man, I'm tired.
Yeah, that actually gives me an idea of something to talk about when it comes around to my turn. It's been a bit since we did a distraction hole. There's been a lot going on weekends.
It's before the holidays, right? Mm-hmm. Before Christmas, anyway.
Yeah, the new year has brought a lot of changes in our lives on Sundays, so it's been a little difficult to get around to doing this, but we're going to try to get back in the swing of things. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited. If you want to hear, our regular stuff, we're still releasing, of course, every week, new Supernatural selections, also in this feed. Mm-hmm. So, guys, since it's been so long, Mike, what have you been distracting yourself with?
So, there's a lot to talk about since it's been so long. I think I'd mentioned before that I had started the Witch of Mercury Gundam.
Yeah, which is funny because I got the models and you've got the show.
Yeah, so I had stopped about halfway through that. And then while looking at other Gundam stuff, like I think I got an email for some site, something promoting a Gundam for Gundam Seed. And I was like, what show was that? So I looked up the show and I found out the whole fucking show's on YouTube. Because of Gundam.info, which seems to be Bandai's like portal site. So they have a couple of different shows on YouTube, just free to watch. So I watched all of Gundam Seed. The first one, there's Gundam Seed and there's Gundam Seed Destiny. I haven't watched Destiny yet. So I watched all that, which was pretty good. It was, let's hear how to describe it. It was not, like all Gundam shows have this arc, right? It's cool robots doing things, kids doing cool things and cool robots. Oh, hey, war is hell, and it sucks ass.
And then the PTSD happens.
Yes.
A couple characters get killed off.
Yep. Except they die, and I was surprised at how, not only, you're seeing it as it's an anime, but it seems at first more, I don't know.
It's very visceral deaths.
Yeah, it belies what it becomes. Like, it seemed like it was going to be a lighthearted kind of mecha show, and not really lighthearted, but more of a actiony. And then, characters dying, some teenagers having sex.
Do you know how I know that show's fucked up when it comes to the death and stuff? They love it on Guro-chan, and stuff like that. Like,
what are you doing on Guro-chan?
Me? Nothing. The people I read about going to it, man, they
I wouldn't
love
say
some
it's
Gundam.
that. I don't think it's that bad.
Well, I'm talking about in general. Like, there's older stuff because they will talk about,
Maybe.
man, they like that person just get like ripped to pieces. There's like heads floating in space and shit.
I will say it's less so in the Witch of Mercury, but Gundam Seed, it came out in like the early 2000s, and oh man, is there a lot of like reused footage. Like you can
budget.
There's like fight scenes, especially like you could tell the flavor of it. Oh, here's that, that scene of the Gundam shooting again, but it's horizontally flipped, or So, but no, overall it was a good show. And then I went back and finished Witch of Mercury finally, because there was a point in the show where they had a reveal. I'm going, ooh, that's dark. So I kind of like gave it a break, but I finished it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It didn't have like the resolution wasn't a big battle, which is kind of nice. It was kind of they actually kind of talk things out.
Interesting.
Which is a nice change of pace, a little diplomacy there. Because none of the people that would have fought in the big battle at the end were ever cast as being bad people. Like really, the only villainous people in the show came about at the end, like the big faceless entity government or quasi government entities.
Wouldn't know anything about that.
So
because
they were.
Talking about Gundam here, it's like hearing all this makes me want to jump back into it, because I was watching Gundam pretty heavily for a while, and then I do that with shows though. Like right now, I'm back on the Next Generation. Just the Next Generation.
Yeah,
thing.
I love that you posted that picture of Picard wearing one of his after dinner outfits with a loose shirt, and you're like, look at this slut. I was like, no, that's totally a slut outfit for Picard. Because he's sitting there with Beverly.
Were both very slutty characters.
Oh, Riker is just like, they had to like mop up the holodeck after every session with him.
God, yeah, he just like, splooging everywhere.
Yeah.
So I watched those, and also I built a couple of Gundams. Kevin gave me one for Christmas, and I have... So that was a 1/44 scale Gundam Wing. Yeah, Wing Gundam. And I've had a 1/100th scale Gundam 8th MS team forever. Like, I bought this thing like ages ago.
Mike, weren't you living in like, where were you? The Lake Roadhouse or something?
No, not that long. So put it to you this way. In the box, I opened it and like kind of messed with it a little bit. I think I put together one of the guns, but inside the box was a promo insert for a Gundam PlayStation 1 game, a Gundam Sega, I think it was a Sega Saturn game, and the upcoming brand new Gundam PlayStation 2 game. And the manual had a copyright date of 2000. So.
And this new thing called the Internet.
Yes. So it was at least 20 years old. I probably bought it,
Possibly 24 years.
Yeah. So
is old.
It was old. And they still sell this same kit. Like if you want to
but with updated marketing.
An 8th MS Gundam model figure. This is the same one you would buy.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's got like a lot of neat stuff. Like it's got gun clips on the hips and stuff.
Yeah, it's got little beam saber compartments in its calves, and it's got a big chonky backpack that holds the big chonky sniper rifle thing.
Now,
Guys,
when your models, I have a question. Do you ever like build bases for them? Like, because I know sometimes they come with like bases, but have you ever tried like making like a terrain base to put the Gundam on?
I have not, so I only last year actually built the Gundams. I have a older Gundam that also is from 8th MS team that I built years ago.
Now, I will say, out in the garage, we have some old Warhammer terrain from Paul.
Oh, but
technically,
I'm an old hand at Warhammer terrain, so I could do it.
Yeah,
I've built so much terrain in the past.
I never did, but Mike and them, yeah.
I watch a few like model people on YouTube, and just like seeing the custom stuff they're doing. I've got this Gundam I'm looking at right here on my shelf above my computer, and it's cool. But it's like, well, what if I made some terrain and put it on there and like took the time to craft that and stuff, and like, do some extra painting and detailing, and it's like,
oh, I got a great idea. How about you put a Christmas tree?
a flying Christmas tree full of lights.
Yeah. Shut your fucking mouth.
You started it.
I know what I saw.
But no, a little diorama. Like I saw a really cool one like a couple of weeks ago. It was like a half ruined, overgrown building that had like a Gundam like position near, kind of like, I think it was like taking cover or something behind it. It was like a really cool whole diorama.
I love how posable these damn things are.
Yeah, no.
They are great. I am going to say something, and this is not a joke in any way whatsoever. Do you know what I want?
World Peace?
Two words. Gunpla, RoboCop.
Ooh.
I want a Gunpla RoboCop so I can have him on my shelf, gun pointed at one of my action figures with the whole "dead or alive, you're coming with me."
That would be dope, man. Yeah, no, because
Yeah.
I today, one of those videos I watched, they took like a stock Bandai Y-Wing Star Wars model, and like they detailed the shit out of it, but then they made like a landing pad on a cliff, a seaside cliff face with a doorway that goes into the cliffs and everything like that. Just all the detailing shit. I'm like, oh my god, that looks like so much fun to do. And I'm like, maybe this is where I need to go if I get another model. If I get another Gundam, like maybe I need to start making terrain for him or something. Because like, oh, that just seems so exciting to do.
Okay, yeah. I unfortunately just went to Big Bad Toy Store and they have a section for RoboCop, and I want this $100 Ed 209.
Oh yeah, I've seen that Ed 209. That's pretty cool.
No, they've got RoboCop 2 where he's got the weird Mother of Pearl stuff. They've got the RoboCop 2, Kane.
Yeah. So in my terrain making days, there was like not a piece of trash that I would throw away that I wouldn't look at and think I could make that into terrain.
Oh yeah.
Like, Pringles cans, just old styrofoam packaging of weird different things.
Mike, tell them about the roll-on deodorant.
So I've made a tank out of it wasn't roll-on, it was just a deodorant stick package. Like, and I did not come up with this idea. In fact, I saw it in, I believe it was an issue of White Dwarf.
Yeah.
They had all kinds of tutorials, and one of them was making a ship out of a deodorant container.
It's neat.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those, you imagination's your only limit.
Yeah.
With enough, glue, paint, and, filler to fill in gaps, you can make anything look like a neat terrain thing.
Yeah, the guy whose channel I've been watching, he has like these sheets of foam, and he'll actually like take like a hot cutter to like shape the foam stacks and everything like that.
That's what Paul used to do. Yeah,
God,
the pink foam.
Yeah, that kind of innovation came after I had really done it, so I was just cutting foam with X-Acto knives and stuff like my.
And then you see that tech, and you're like, oh, if only.
Yeah, no, like when it first started coming about, Paul and I were researching how to make our own, because nobody had a commercial available hot wire cutter at the time. So we're like looking up how to, what kind of wire you need. Like, could any wire work? No, you need nichrome wire. It's like, okay, well, how much power do I need to put through it? Yeah. So, let's see, any other Gundam? I think that's all the Gundam stuff I was going to talk about. But since we're still on the anime thing, I have other animes. We watched a lot of anime the last couple months. So in addition to the Gundam stuff, I been watching the Free Ren. I'm trying to remember the full name of it now. But yeah, it's. I wish I'd wrote down the whole name.
Beyond Journey's End.
Beyond Journey's End, yeah.
What is that?
So
It's good. It's good.
It's the one I've told you about, Kevin. It's the elf girl.
Oh,
Yeah,
the one you said I'd like. Yes.
Yeah, it's like if you took the ending of the end of the Lord of the Rings and just like 100 years later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's kind of like following Arwen.
Yeah, it's after
kind of a thing.
it's after the big battle, which after Journey's End kind of implies the battle for freeing the world. Well, there's this elf who was the mage of the party, and being an elf, she's way longer lived than the rest of the party. So, they most of the one of the former party members dies, like of old age, not like in battle, and it's kind of her what comes after what she's doing now, and she's kind of finds a new party or builds a new party, and where she was the kind of passive I don't see the point in a lot of stuff before. Now she's kind of the leader, kind of in a not quite understanding that she is the leader, but and it's just great. Like it starts off as a very kind of moody, not moody in that way, but
It's very introspective. It's very
it's slow and a good like kind of character developing,
contemplative.
character heavy. I've gotten to the later episodes are in this kind of test situation where it's a lot more like stuff going on and more characters, because before it's just like first you really 2 characters and 3 characters through the main characters. Now we got a whole bunch of characters, but it's still great. It's I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I'm just mad at myself once again for getting stuck in a currently airing series.
Yeah, I've got that same problem with Delicious in Dungeon right now.
That was another one I was going to talk about.
Okay.
But yeah, I really wish I could like wait until at least the season's over, but sometimes I just can't help, start watching it as it's airing and just do that week to week grind.
Yeah. Felt.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's Free Run's a great show, great just great characters. I'm a character person. I love characters and character development and characters I can like root for, and just characters I'd be like, oh, I want them to be my friends.
Right.
Now, are you watching it subbed or dubbed?
Sub. I'm a sub ride or die.
Oh, you're
person.
a sub?
Yes.
I it depends. Like with whenever I'm watching a show with Holly, I always put it on dub because she doesn't like to do the subtitle thing. So,
yeah.
But no, the dub is pretty good. I like the dub quite a bit. Free Run always sounds a little sleepy, but that's kind of a character.
Yeah. She's she's an elf, and she's also portrayed as like not wanting to wake up, which I feel that.
Yeah. It's a very cute show. There's a lot of fun little gags and everything like that, like her being caught in things, like the mimics and everything like that. That always makes me laugh.
Or her and her clothes removal potions and spells. Like it's not like a dirty thing. Like she just I don't know. I don't know what the deal. Why does she like them so much? Who knows?
Yeah.
And so you touched on it. Then there's also Delicious in Dungeon or Dungeon Meshi, which I've been like familiar with. I never read the manga, but I knew of the manga when it pretty much first started, and I was like, sounded really interesting, but I never got around to reading it.
Yeah.
And so the premise there is there's a fantasy party team. They I don't want to give too much away about the overall plot, but through other circumstances, they decide to instead of having to come out of the dungeon or spend a lot of money up front and buy a bunch of supplies, or having to leave the dungeon a lot to restock supplies, they're just going to eat what they find in the dungeon. Mm-hmm. So cook and eat monsters. And luckily they find someone well versed in said topic to help them, because otherwise they probably would have eaten something poisonous and all died.
Mm-hmm. Great characters.
Senshi. Yes. Oh no, another show with the characters are like amazing.
I do need to recommend the dub on that one. The voice acting is very good on it. And then Marcel is voiced by Emily Rudd, who plays live action Nami on One Piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's. I like
she
her
was
delivery.
Good
as
in
Marcel.
that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Senshi's the best. I love Senshi.
Yeah, y'all basically mentioned like the only two anime I've heard of lately that I'm kind of interested in checking out.
Well,
yeah.
Another cool thing about it is like dungeon biology.
Basically. Yeah. Oh yeah. It gives like super in depth, and you know, it obviously only pertains to this universe, but yeah, they like all the monsters are well thought out. Like, you know, like for instance, the hollow suits of armor enemies, it gives a whole reason for why they exist and what, you know, what they are, and it's kind of like way different than what you expect.
And then of course you got the anime food porn.
Oh yeah, lots of like, you know, it's the fantasy version of Food Wars.
Funny story,
except without the orgasms, thankfully.
That's Food Wars.
The other podcast I'm on, Spooky Dice Bag, our DM, Kick Acetron, keeps putting us in these situations where we're in these villages and, like, going to find food, and instead of being like, all right, you make an order and blah, 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 he, like, gives us these insane detailed descriptions of the meals that we get and makes us extremely hungry. And we're just all going, oh my God, fuck, that sounds great. And then, like, today, I was like, we were fucking delicious in dungeon before it was a thing.
Have you been eating the monsters?
So, unless...
A bit.
Oh, okay, well then, yeah.
I mean, like, we're not cooking the monsters, but, like, you know, there's been some eating in the wild.
You should just start, like, eating more monsters in the game and see how it goes.
Next time you kill a monster, you'd be like, we got an eater here.
I'm a Dragonborn. I'm a Dragonborn mage. Who's gonna stop me?
Yeah. So I do want to say, so I said where you could watch the Gundam Seed, but for Freeren Beyond Journey's End, that's available to stream on Crunchyroll, and Dungeon Meshi is Netflix.
Okay.
I figured, you know, anyone listening, if they want to check those out, that's where they could find them.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
It'd help, instead of them having to, like, go, where the fuck do I watch this thing that you really got me wanting to watch?
And you don't have to sail the high seas if you don't want to.
Yes.
If you don't want to.
Yeah. It's inconvenient a lot of the time, but that's just me. Anyway.
And there's the whole, you know, illegal, you know, getting, you know.
Well, based on comments that I've made on the show before,
arrested.
The illegality isn't what bothers me.
Yeah.
So, other than anime, something I've watched a lot of is, I don't think I've mentioned it before. Have I mentioned Game Changer and Dropout on the show before?
I don't think you have. I think that's something you started watching between episodes.
A little bit. But anyway, so it started with me learning about Game Changer and seeing a bunch of clips on YouTube. But Game Changer is a show from Dropout, which is a bunch of former College Humor people that created their own streaming network. They have I haven't watched any of their other stuff yet. They have, I think it's called, what is the name of that show? Dimension 20. It's you know, role-playing game RPG show where, they're playing game, RPG around a table. But they have several game show, and one of them is Game Changer. I'm pretty sure this is one of their first ones, and it's basically the premise is not every episode, but most episodes, the game is unknown to the contestants what they're playing. Frequently, the game will start, and they just have to figure it out what the goal of the game is. And a lot of times it's kind of, traditional game show style where they're behind a podium and have points. But they've branched out. They've done other things. More recently, they've done like a multi-episode Survivor clone. And they've even done some musical ones, which are really, Kevin would hate them, but they were really impressive for having to come up with musical numbers and, with the lyrics on the fly for, prompts they were given. And there were different contestants than normal. So I'm assuming these are, these super theater kids.
People who can carry a tune.
Yes. Oh yeah. They all sung very well.
Yeah.
And it's just really interesting. Like, just having a different kind of show every time.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. Especially like, because you mentioned Dimension 20. I've been deep into like Critical Role. This past, year or so. So one thing that I've been doing is I've been doing their little side series as well. I just started doing their Candela Obscura, and then they also have a talk show called Four-Sided Dive. And it's been nice to kind of do that, but it's just like switching things up, but with these, with that familiarity of these frequent players. I like that. That's been a lot of fun. It sounds a little bit like that to me.
Yeah. And a lot of these people are like, they're really like, they seem to have a lot of chemistry and a lot of like, they seem to be like a bunch of friends that are also comedians and doing these shows together and just, having fun.
Yeah, it's like the diaspora. Once like Cracked got shut down, you have all the people who used to write there kind of start their own thing, and then they all still get together. About that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like they have another show that kind of spun off from Game Changer. They had one game that was, I guess they found so interesting they turned it into its own show called Make Some Noise. Which is, various prompts, and you have to make noises, like, he'll give you a prompt, and you have to, like, make the noise of,
orgasming giraffe.
Yes, something like that. Yeah.
Or like, bleh.
So, yeah. And just, just fun times. So yeah. That's something I kind of want to shout out to. So it's, a bunch of independent creators are not part of a big, faceless net, conglomerate network streaming. They seem to be doing their own thing. And, I encourage a lot of people, if any of that sounded interesting, to, give them I think it's like $6 or $7 a month. So just give them a try. See if there's anything on there you like.
Oh, that kind of brings up a question. Just okay, so like that's clearly like a niche streaming thing or a niche subscription. So what else are some of your niche subscriptions that you guys have? I'm just kind of curious. What other, like drop some info.
So other than that, there's not much. I have a music subscription. But I'm subscribed to.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily niche. You know what I mean?
It's not niche, but I'm just saying. I was getting to the point of that's about the only streaming subscription I have. Like a lot of the like Disney and stuff, I either used Kevin or another roommate's not account, but their stream. They made me a profile
I made him a profile.
Yeah.
And so. I used to have, I had a Netflix in the day, but I don't have much streaming. I don't have any other really niche, what you can consider niche ones.
Well, I'll drop one that I have. I'm a subscriber to SwearNet.
Okay.
I do not know what that is.
SwearNet is a network made by the Trailer Park Boys creators. So it has an archive of classic episodes, but it also has like their podcast, and they do their own little show. They do other shows there. They have they do movies occasionally. They have one show I like called the Puppetry Fucketry Improv Hour.
God damn it.
And yeah, it's literally just the three Trailer Park Boys actors, and what they do is they each get like they pick a random puppet that they haven't seen before. They draw a characteristic out of a hat, and then they have to they have some sort of gimmick, and what they do is they like have to improv a scene with these puppets. They have to remain in character. They have to constantly be moving the mouths. They can't just like say something and not move the mouths. And then also every time they violate that gimmick, they get like a strike. So it's like whoever performs the best. But it's a lot of fun, man. I appreciate that, you know, because I love Trailer Park Boys, but it's cool to see them kind of do all this other shit.
Well, as far as me, I resubscribed to last podcast on Patreon because since Ed has taken over as the new host, it has just breathed new life into the show. And the streams are fucking amazing.
I need to catch up with the streams.
Like, you know, everybody has a mandate except for Ed. Ed has a ham date. And like, they have this ham chant they do at the beginning of his mandates. Because apparently, right before COVID, somebody gave him like a giant, like shrink wrap thing of ham, and then COVID hit, and he never could have what he termed his ham party. So it just sat there until it went bad. So he started bringing it out to live shows after the pandemic, and he like hauled it up, and they'd start chanting with it, and he'd like beat on it like a drum.
Just
and there was like this
ass ham.
Just a shrink wrapped rotten ham, and they're going ham, 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 as he's playing it like a drum. And he said, "Oh, this is great, but I mean, like the bag broke open, so I threw it away."
Oh,
and I'm like, that's Ed. That is Ed Larson in a nutshell. Just I played the ham like bongos until it broke.
You broke my ham.
You broke my ham. So it's like a whole new show, and you can tell Marcus and Henry are like feeling better about doing the show. And Ed will like come in, like one episode in particular, Ed came in and was like, "Yeah, I was reading about this guy." He like brings up something Marcus didn't bring up, and there's silence for a second, and Henry just goes, "You did the research."
Oh.
I was like, "Oh man, this is why I'm listening again."
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, just that whole, you did the research. I was like, I wanted to cry for him. Anyway, so that's the only thing I'm really, you know, like DIY subscribed to.
Yeah, it was interesting. You brought up like, because Mike, you brought up the Game Changers. I'm like, okay, no, that's. I try to support independent creators when I can. It's tough right now, but like,
there's just it's just so much.
It
you
is.
Can't,
It's
being able
really
to kind of
tough.
share it
everything.
for people and let them know, like, hey, you should check these things out. I think is helping.
So the only thing left I want to talk about is recently, like, so I keep from every angle. I've been getting assaulted with the Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Oh God, I want to play one of these.
So-
it's one of the Yakuza games.
Yeah.
Well, it's as far as I understand, it's like a spin-off of the Yakuza series. So I found that everything except the Infinite Wealth game is on Game Pass. Which also I do. So I do have a subscription to Game Pass for PC.
Game Pass
So
is great, man. I've been enjoying it.
So I decided to, I was like, so which one do I want to play? I'm like, well, do I want to start in the middle or start with the? So I decided to start with the very first one because they have have remasters of 1 and 2, I think, or 1, 2, and I think it's 1, 2, and 3. So I started with 1, and while it's not as like off the wall, it's very. You could tell it's a parody of. I'm guessing Japan must have like Yakuza, like melodrama series. I can imagine. Must be a genre there because this has like what feels like tropes. Like I can't really think of any specific, but one of the things when it first starts, so it starts off in 1996 with like the first cinematic has the main character standing over someone dead. Then it flashes back to 24 hours ago. And then it flashes back again to the day before that. Then it flashes forward again. It's just like, it's like, if it wasn't obviously deliberate, it would have been very bad storytelling.
Yeah. It's obviously kind of like a tongue-in-cheek play on a genre.
Yeah, like they, it's a fighting game. Like, you're punching the crap out of people, and it's funny because you get into fights, and then like it's kind of an not quite open world game, but it is like big street sections. But when you get into fights, like a crowd of people will suddenly be around you and like kind of make your arena. And you have to fight a non-zero number of people. So
yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
I'm playing Like a Dragon Ishin. So yeah, that one's set in the in like samurai time. I don't know which era,
Ooh.
but it's fun. Like, and yeah, the gameplay is very much like it's combo based fighting gameplay, but like there'll be people like watching and everything like that. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm only a couple, maybe several hours in, so not too far into it, but I'm enjoying what I've seen so far. Still kind of thinking, should I just jump into the crazy ones? Because, this is, while it's not boring, it's also like, I know what I'm like getting to, or I have some idea of what I'm getting to, and I'm kind of impatient to. It's like, I was never really a super big fan of fighting games, like, as, their merits on their own. So.
Yeah, well, because you have the Yakuza series, and then I think Like a Dragon is the more wacky.
Yeah, that's the spin-off, kind of.
Yeah. Although apparently one of the Yakuza games is a Fist of the North Star game. What the fuck? Yeah,
or is it
I'm looking at the Yakuza franchise, and yeah, Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise for PlayStation 4. So apparently they did a Yakuza game. Yeah.
Yakuza style Fist of the North Star game.
It's listed under the Yakuza franchise.
Interesting.
Interesting.
But yeah, the first Like a Dragon was Yakuza Like a Dragon. Then there was Like a Dragon, the man that erased his name or something like that. Forgot his name.
Yeah, I've heard Donkey talk about that one a little bit.
Then there was a Like a Dragon. I can't remember the name of that one. There's the previous Like a Dragon game that came out last year, I think, or 2022.
So here we go. I've got the list pulled up here. 2020 there was Yakuza Like a Dragon. In 2021 there was Lost Judgment. 2023 there was Like a Dragon Ishin, and 2023 was also Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Yeah,
and then 2024 is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So.
Yeah.
And next is going to be Like a Dragon, touched for the very first time.
Like a Dragon.
Yeah, where are they going to do the Wheel of Time tie-in game? You can be the dragon. Anyway, that's a... Oh, boy. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I'm spent.
Wow.
Wow. Well, clean up after yourself.
Yuck.
All right. Kevin, you said you didn't want to go first, but...
Do you want to go second?
Well, let's see. First off, I've been doing a lot of reading, and not all of it
Woo
is for the fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
I have been reading a lot of, I don't like calling it Lovecraftian fiction all the time, but like, mythos stuff. Like, I started off with Space Eldridge, which had some hit and miss stuff that turned out to be written by a lot of right-leaning people.
Hey.
And then I read Redneck Eldridge, which is from the same editor, which means there was no editing and horrible typos, but it had like some of the stupidest and ickiest stories I've ever read. And then there's the one about the truckers.
Okay.
The story about the two truckers in 1986 that find a UFO. The UFO bonds with one of them's truck, and they're on the run from government agents and mythos monsters. And it just... Man meets UFO, UFO bonds with truck, man meets daughter of Nyarlathotep, they fall in love and become space truckers. It is, there should be a movie of this story.
That sounds like the campaign we should play if we do Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, dude. Like, seriously, it made the rest of the book worth reading, and it's available on its own as a short story on Amazon.
Hell yeah.
Like, seriously, I was explaining it to Gage, and Gage was like, why haven't they done a movie of this? Because, like, it's great. Every chapter is named after, like, classic rock. And, like, he's, like, the truck is now invulnerable to mythos stuff, so he's running over, like, the Migo and shit. And, like, he's in a Mexican standoff in the truck against Nyarlathotep and pulls his hat down a little bit and goes, now you're messing with a son of a bitch. And I'm like, this is the greatest story ever written.
Oh my god, this sounds incredible.
It is. Like, it is stupid as fuck, and I love it.
Oh man, that just sounds like someone needs to make a comic book adaptation of that.
I swear to God, it's great. I might get in touch with the guy. I don't know.
It's like Megas XLR.
Yes!
Like, yeah.
Yes, it's like Megas XLR with Cthulhu shit. And it is two friends.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's great. It is so great. But then I read, like, this great little collection. Well, I call it great. It's a pretty good little collection called Tales from the Witch House, which is a collection of the finest female authors in Lovecraftian weird fiction.
Ooh.
And that had a lot of really good stuff in it. And then I was going, the one kind of thing missing is a daddy issues story. And then I hit it.
Oh, okay. Then
I hit the, oh, don't fuck your daddy, little girl. This is bad.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, it was like something off Tumblr. But there was one story in there that, it was, okay, it's done like poetry, and it's talking about the child. The child grew up in poverty, and his life was so hard. And the horrid being stole his sanity and the sanity of his mother and his grandfather Theobald Lovecraft. I'm like, well, you cannot paint Lovecraft as innocent, lady. I know what he called his cat. I know what he named the fucking cat. You can't do this.
Oh, he's become a Tumblr wooby.
Yeah, no, you can't. Look, as much as I talk about, toward the end he changed, that doesn't mean anything. He was still, like, in an era of racists, he was considered excess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some racists went, whoa, HP, you're going a little far there.
Like, you gotta keep in the smoking room.
Klansmen were like, you should calm down. Like, it was... Like, you cannot do this to this dude.
Bruh.
Yeah, but I'm reading another collection now. Give me just 1 sec. I actually want to pull the name of it up, if I will. It's in Kindle, of course. A lot of these are just, available from Kindle Unlimited. Okay, it's called Ride the Star Wind. And it is another collection of Lovecraftian science fiction, but better, like edited and like with grammar corrections. There's a couple of like things that got missed, but not like where I have to reread the sentence 4 times to try to parse it. And it's got some really good stuff in it. I mean, it's got some crap, but it's got some good stuff in it, which it's all Lovecraftian fiction. You got hit or miss stuff.
Yeah.
But this one, for the most part, is really pretty good. So I highly recommend that.
Okay.
I would not recommend getting sued, because that has sucked so far. And what else have I been doing? I got back on Skyrim because I got the new computer, so of course I'm playing a game that's like, 13 years old.
That worked fine on the potato you had before.
Yeah, but this time I'm playing it through to like finish it. To finally be done with it. I'm going to finish all the quests.
Oh.
So far, I am the hero of the Skyrim Civil War, the head of the Thieves Guild, the head of the Assassins, Archmage of the College of Winterhold, the chosen one of like 4 Daedra, and I'm like, somebody else could take up a couple of these. Someone else could be the chosen one for one of these groups, like Steve, maybe. Just somebody else could be doing a couple of these.
Kevin rimming to completion.
I am rimming it. But like, it's sad because it's like all I've really done since the last time we did this was read.
Yeah, that's not sad.
Well, I mean, like, I haven't really watched much. Because last time we talked about the last movie I really saw, which is Godzilla -1.
I still haven't seen that.
I went and I saw the -1 color on my birthday.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
Oh, it was so nice. I love it.
Okay. God, there was stuff we were talking about in Supernat that we did not bring up this episode so far. I can't remember any of
That
it.
always happens.
Yep, pretty much. Now, our coworker brought me the program for Shin Yun.
Oh, yes.
I've got it, and it reads about like you'd think, and there's this one page where it's just all these photos of people that are involved, like the director of dance, the head of me, blah, blah, blah. And it just looks like Chinese LinkedIn, because they're all wearing business suits, and it's like all professional headshots.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It looks like a LinkedIn suggestions page if you lived in China.
It's like the people who slide in my LinkedIn DMs like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that like, having people slide into your DMs?
It's just like, hey, we're launching this program. Would you like to join? And it's like, no, I'm just going to ignore this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know why I'm on fucking LinkedIn.
I don't know. I don't know why anyone's on LinkedIn.
But it's like apparently a big chapter of Microsoft, too, which is like weird.
Weird. I didn't know it was them.
Yeah, no, Microsoft owns LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean, and I could see if you're like in a corporate, like, environment like that, it would, I have a lot of friends that are in kind of like that environment, and LinkedIn is useful for them. But yeah,
sure.
For somebody like us that aren't working in an office,
yeah,
it makes way less sense. It doesn't work for us.
Well, I'll post updates about the podcast on there every now and again. I'll tell you where we don't get hits from is LinkedIn.
Yeah. It's not. It's not. It's corpo. If you're a corpo, LinkedIn is like your jam. I mean, it's not really jam. It's nobody's jam, but it's like a tool for like networking.
Which is ironic because if you're on LinkedIn, you're a fucking tool. Oh, wait, did I say that? Sorry.
I'm just thinking about like the amount of cringe I've seen on LinkedIn, like the hustle culture kind of like.
Oh god,
Yeah.
I think just that term hustle culture is cringe.
Apparently, one of my former teachers is on there, and he's currently working for Amazon and did some kind of work on the Wheel of Time.
Neat.
So, like, I was like, well, good on you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I'm rescanning Coda's World. That's something else I've been doing.
Yes.
Yeah, and which, if you don't know, I used to be a big time in webcomics, and I started back in 2000, in earnest with Coda's World, and that ran for 5 years. And I actually, it wasn't like famous, it wasn't like super popular, but like people have heard of it. Mm-hmm. And like, I've still got every fucking page.
Like the actual drawn paper pages.
Yes, from my sketchbooks. And then eventually from cardstock. So what I'm doing is the older stuff that's in terrible shape, I'm rescanning and remastering to be legible for modern stuff and eventually maybe for print.
Yeah, turns out like taking a scan page and compressing it down to like, I don't even know what resolution we were doing back in the day.
Oh, it was like 600 by something, I think. And now I do like 800 wide.
Yeah. And, crunching the color gamut down and all that. Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing, so there was a lot of graphic sins done back in those days.
Oh, yeah, and we didn't it was before either of us had Photoshop, so there was no transparency. It was just bucket tool.
We had Photoshop and didn't know what we're doing. It's like, we had a caterpillar excavator, but we're trying to like dig a hole for a fence post.
We're trying to bury a dog with a bulldozer.
Yeah. So, we just just didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Mike knows.
I say we because I helped in the early days.
Mike was the colorist for the first couple years.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny going back and rescanning it and then like redoing some dialogue because it's like that sentence doesn't make a lick of sense. Like, what does that mean? So like I have to go. I'm going back and like doing little tweaks like that. Like I'm not murdering any jokes or anything.
Yeah.
Mind you, there is one page when I get to the Usenet experience, Big Brother Dandelion. There's one joke that I missed, and I knew I missed it a week after I did the comic, and I might fix it when I get to it.
Yeah, there you go. Just like when you put the page up, make sure you have an annotation and note that though.
Yeah. Like in the original, the dude that's hiring him is like, what are your qualifications? And Monkey goes through this long list of like, well, I'm a genetically modified man with the strength, speed, and agility of a monkey, blah, 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 trained in diddly, blah, 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 blah. And the guy's like, have you had your shots? And Monkey's like, yes. And a week later, I looked at it and I was like, the joke should have been, yeah, but can you drive a truck? Because it's to be a truck driver, which is ironic because the guy I based Monkey on is now a truck driver.
Yeah.
So the other thing I'm doing, though, is every now and again, maybe a couple times a storyline, I'm redrawing a page. So, same character designs and everything, same dialogue, just redrawing what's there with new art style. So I have this one that's like halfway through the drawing process, and like the first 4 panels are redrawn and the last half aren't, and it looks like I had a stroke halfway through. Which is, I'm not being offensive because I cannot tell you how many times when people have looked at my old stuff gone, like, you drew all of it? Yeah. What happened?
Oh.
I fucking got better. What do you
Yeah.
think happened? It's called practice and art and shit. Come, what the fuck? Who does that? Okay. In all fairness, I did have like, I'm gonna paraphrase here. One of my teachers looked at my art one time and said, "That's pretty good for a quote for a mentally handicapped kid."
Oh, Jesus.
He didn't say mentally handicapped though.
Well, this was the 90s.
Yeah,
Jesus.
this
That
was
was-
94. It was our Mike. You remember
Yeah.
our social studies? He's dead. It was Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep. And he wasn't a bad teacher, but like he was old guard, which is funny because I think he was like real gay. I think.
no, he had a girlfriend.
Yeah, and then no girlfriend ever
Nope.
again.
No, he had a girlfriend like later, like he didn't at
You're
first.
shitting
Yeah,
me.
no, I think he was just one of those guys that doesn't really have a lot of
lifelong bachelor, I guess. That's
that, or
weird.
he just was in way denial. But
Yeah, I think it was denial
I don't
because
think
like
he was gay.
I don't know. I kind of hope he was, just because, like, it'd be nice. Now, ironically, one of our other teachers, Mr. Cora, his daughter, he's passed on now, but his daughter is Kat Cora from Iron Chef America.
No way.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's our history teacher's daughter.
Cool.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah, it was funny because, like, I was always worried in class. I'd be reading, like, one of the Wheel of Time books. I'm reading, like, the third book, and I'm like, oh no, I hope I don't get in trouble. And I'll look up, and Mr. Cord is fucking reading book 4 of the Wheel of Time. I'm like, I'm good. So, I miss that, man. But anyway, I lost the thread. Coda's World, rescanning. It's going up on Drunk Duck because my webcomic host is shutting down.
Yeah.
I'm losing my website, and honestly, I've been getting it for free for like a decade, so, I'm not going to bitch. Big thanks to Vic for hosting me for as long as he did. So, you're a good man, Vic. I guess that's all I got, really. I've not had a lot going on in my life. So, I tell you what, guys, why don't we take a break? And when we come back, we'll talk about David, and we'll see about some kind of a closing ceremony that may, in fact, involve a game.
All right.
All right, we'll be right back after this. Hi, everyone. This is Kevin from Supernatural Selection. Are you an independent creator? Do you have a webcomic or an Etsy store? Do you 3D print things? Or are you just looking to get some word out for your Discordian cabal with social terrorism? Well, we'd love to help. And David, I believe you've got some details about how we can help.
Why, certainly. If you go to supernaturalselectionpod.com/contact, that is supernaturalselectionpod.com/contact, you can learn how to advertise with us.
That's right. I believe the rate is $2 per episode. You can't beat that with a stick.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, we've tried.
Yeah, that's cheap. That's literally cheaper than dirt.
Mm-hmm. And best of all, if you're not sure how to write an ad, we'll do it for you. We'll even record it.
Absolutely. Just let us know what you need in the ad, and we'll be happy to do that for you.
And again, that URL is supernaturalselectionpod.com/contact.
And now, back to the show. And we're back. Now, guys, before we move on, there's one thing that I thought of while I was away from the microphone. And it's something that happened in a recent recording session for Spooky Dice Bag. And it's not like a major spoiler or anything. But as we're playing, we're in this town and we're getting a meal. Like I said, in the games, Kick-Assatron does a real good job of describing the meals, but he's talking about these heated grains that we're going to be eating and everything. And after a minute or so of him describing the thing, I'm like, would this happen to be hot wheat? And it turns out, yes, it's fucking hot wheat because they've been listening to the show. And I will never live down hot wheat.
Hot wheat.
Hot wheat. I don't know what I know what I meant. I realized what I meant. Back when I listened to Mysterious Universe, they would refer to some things they did, like stories that were, the term separating the wheat from the chaff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, anytime they had a story that was just intensely stupid, even for them, they referred to it as hot chaff. Like the hottest chaff. And I think my brain tried to say hot wheat in response to that, and it dawned on me that no one knows what the fuck you're talking about, Kev. You just said hot wheat.
Apropos of virtually nothing.
Yeah, apropos of nothing, you just talked about microwaving grains, just straight grain. Good job, bud.
Hot wheat, hot wheat.
It's the only thing to eat. Anyway, that's just, I wanted to bring that up, so there we are. Enjoy your hot wheat, everyone.
Oh, there's a cream of wheat, which is hot wheat.
It is, but that wasn't what I meant.
I know.
Yeah, just reaped wheat, heated. Fuck me.
The heat of the wheat is what you reap in the sheets.
Shut up. So, David, what have you been distracting yourself with?
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys. Okay. So,
hi there.
Yeah, no, I've, got a couple quick little video game things, and then I'm going to talk about something else. But,
cool.
New Diablo season started.
Okay.
And I'm getting really tired of every season opening up terribly, and then them patching it. For once, I'd like a season
Fucking
to kick off.
hell.
I'd like a season to kick off. I think I'm just getting tired of live service games.
No, I get that. I've
Yeah.
been tired of them.
So the new season, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the names of things. It's you get a robot companion, like a little
wait.
arcane spider.
I was going to say, it's the Terminator.
Yeah, and with you put runes on it, and it's supposed to help you in combat. It's like, whatever, it's fine. Like, they'll do that, but they won't let me have like a decent fucking necromancer. But the big issue with the update, number one, the itemization is still awful. I'm still waiting for them to fix the goddamn item system, because that is essential to my enjoyment of Diablo.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the big deal, is getting items and shit.
Well, and the other thing is the update involves traps. Now, traps I don't necessarily have an issue with. It's just the way that they implemented them ran counterintuitive to the Diablo gameplay loop, which is just like moving fast. You move fast, kill things, you pick up the loot, you keep moving, it's go, 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 right?
Right.
They introduced these special dungeons, vaults, that have these traps in them, and you can kind of like blow through them. Originally, like, if you blew through them, you wouldn't get your reward, so you had to take the time to deal with these traps. There'd be like spike pits that would come up, there'd be like rotating columns of fire and everything like that. It slowed down the gameplay and everything like that. I played for like an hour, and I'm like, nope, I'm done. But they did patch it. And the funniest thing is, the way that they improved it was by basically negating the traps almost entirely. They're still there, but they don't really affect you too much. And it's like, it's so weird that like one of their big gimmicks for the season, they just basically kind of got rid of. But it was also like a fundamentally flawed addition.
Yeah.
That just did not meet the expectations. So yeah, I really do like Diablo. Is one of my favorite franchises. Yeah, I'm really pulling for like Diablo 4. I think it's gotten so much better since it launched. But it's also
still kind of
yeah, it just there's something about the development team where I don't know. It's like the right hand isn't aware of what the left hand is doing, um, and it's super frustrating because it's like I love Diablo, I love the gameplay, I think the lore is a lot of fun, and if they were doing it, I don't want to say doing it right because that's presumptuous, but if they were doing it along the expectations of what the community wants, the game would be fantastic. But there's just something I don't know, man. And then with the recent like Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard King and everything like that, I don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm playing through the season now. I'm like level 40 something. I'm just kind of playing casually. I'm not going to try to do any of the race or anything like that because when I last season I did the race to 100 and then I stopped playing for like 6 weeks because I'm like, I'm done. So I'm just gonna try to find the right pacing here. The spider, the robot spider companion, fun. I don't think it's strong enough for an entire season gimmick, but
Right.
I don't know, man. I'm just really tired of developers not spending time to play test this stuff.
That's something that I've been reading about lately is shit like where just because it's procedurally generated and a lot of it doesn't mean it's good, It's just ideas that come up that people think is a great idea.
Yeah. And then, I did end up picking up Baldur's Gate 3. I think I've mentioned it at some point.
Yes, you did.
So I finished up Act 2. I'm just kind of like starting Act 3. I'm right now, I guess I'm going to be heading off to a certain location, a demonic location. But like, I just got kind of overwhelmed with the amount of stuff going on in Act 3 that I had to step away for a little bit. Like,
yeah, no, I get it. It's happened to me a couple times.
Yeah, and then especially because I keep reading up on all these things that I missed, and I'm like trying not to roll a new character.
Oh yeah, that's a danger.
So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I think Holly and I can do couch co-op. So I think I might roll a couch co-op campaign with her. That way I can just do a new character because I want to try out a monk, but I don't want to give up my warlock just yet. And I know I can also like have a couple different save games going, but I don't want to necessarily like leave myself on Act 3 on the warlock and start playing through Acts 1 and 2 of an entirely new character by myself. So it's
right.
I don't know, man. It's like I love Baldur's Gate 3, but like something about hitting Act 3, it's just like,
it can be overwhelming for sure.
So I'll probably get back into it. I'm mostly playing Diablo, but like I do want to get back into Act 3. Like again, just playing a warlock is my jam. I love the warlock, Eldritch Blast, everything. But part of the reason I picked up Baldur's Gate 3 is because my tabletop group stopped meeting for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had our New Year's Villains campaign, which did I ever talk about that?
I don't know if you did.
So I'm like the new guy to this established group and everything like that, and they have some like traditions and stuff. So and at the beginning of the year, they do this like the host does like an all day thing. He's got like two groups of people. I was in the second group that came in the evening, and we did this kind of fun little one shot of we rolled level 11 villainous characters. This was Dungeons and Dragons. We went through a city. We ended up meeting up with Themishad and everything like that. And what it did is it set up the villains for when we return to Dungeons and Dragons with new characters. So we created our own villains. So I've got my character. I had a lot of fun with that. That's also the character that's kind of my basis for my Baldur's Gate character. But then we just didn't meet until last week. So it was like kind of agonizing, right? Because like I've gotten really into the tabletop stuff because like I've always liked it, but I've not had the opportunity. Now that I've had the opportunity, I can't imagine not having a chance to play.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm so friggin' excited about the podcast. I love playing D&D.
Yeah, and so we just started. We have like a Wednesday group, and then there is a Saturday group. Saturday group hasn't met up yet, but we have started the Wednesday group, and we're doing Star Wars Saga Edition.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I'd talk a little bit about the character that I'm rolling. So, so the game we're doing is set during the around the time of The Mandalorian. We're doing a post Jedi before the sequel trilogy sort of thing, and my character is a Kushaban. Now, are you familiar with the Kushaban at all?
This isn't the big green rabbits, is it?
Not big green rabbits, no, but they are kind of rabbits. So they're about they're about a half-meter tall, little bunnies. Like if you Google them, they're like the cutest thing.
Okay.
Yeah, do me a favor and Google and just take a look.
Okay, and how do you spell that again?
Kush, like Kush, and then Iban. So yeah, it's like these little like rabbit cat.
Oh my god!
Aliens. They're adorable. They're fun. They're a lot of fun. That's what I like about Star Wars is you can get really fucking weird with it, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, like again, there was this giant green rabbit bounty hunter in the Marvel stuff that I'm convinced is the origin of Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah, I think that's Jackster or Jackstor.
Something like that.
Yeah, now I gotta Google it. Fuck.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Let me see. Star Wars and then Jackson. Yep.
Jackson, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like we're doing this, and I had to come up with a character. So I'm like, okay. So when you read about the history of this alien race, they're kind of like this kind of like they're not too dissimilar from Ewoks. They don't necessarily live in forests. They live in plains and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But what I did for my character is I'm like, you know what? A lot of people like to collect them as pets. And then they also have these like color changing pelts. So I came up with this backstory where my character is the scout, and ostensibly he's kind of going out and meeting up with the New Republic and trying to form diplomatic ties to get support because the Empire came down, strip mined the planet, and took a bunch of us. But then I also kind of started thinking about the post World War II Jewish headhunters, the ones who would go after Nazis,
like Christopher Lee.
Yeah. So my character, he like his public face thing is that he's given a budget by the Kushaban government to go out and network and try to make alliances with the New Republic, but also he's a part of a kind of a recovery thing where it's about rescuing or rescuing like captured Kushabans who are out there in the galaxy who are maybe like taken in by Imperials or whatever, or recovering the remains from those who may have been killed for their pelts by like Trandoshans and that sort of thing. And the thing is, my character's been at this for 10 years. And he's gotten very cynical. My character is like this kind of like rabbit sniper. But Fareed, another one of our players, he's rolling a Wookiee. So we're doing a Rocket and Groot thing.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, so you've got this like so he and I are both like traumatized by Trandoshans. In our first session 0, we had a little bit of a light roleplay thing, and there was a New Republic X-wing pilot that was a Trandoshan, and the Wookiee was about ready to kill him, and I had to like talk him down and shit. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. So the idea is that like in gameplay, my little rabbit sniper is going to be on top of the shoulder of this fucking Wookiee that's just beating the shit out of things. and it's going to be
Nice.
amazing, and I'm just so excited.
No, I'm sure you can't wait. That sounds like a lot of fun. I never did get to play the Star Wars games. I did get the one of my friends gave me the reprint of the core rule book of the original one from like the 80s/90s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it, West End Games or whatever?
Yeah, we're doing the Wizards of the Coast
Yeah.
one. Yeah, it's a D20 system, but yeah, no, and what's nice is like, because I came into this group during an existing Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and I did not know a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons lore, so I kind of felt myself kind of like out of touch with things. Like, don't get me wrong, the group's great and everything like that, but it's also like, man, I feel like a third wheel. I don't know the exact lore of the setting because I haven't been able to like do the research and that sort of thing. But here with the Star Wars campaign, I know a lot about Star Wars. So, you know, our host rattles off a YT-2400 Corellian transport. I'm like, oh yeah, the Outrider from Shadows of the Empire.
God damn it.
You know, it's just like, you know, he names
Dash
a species.
Rendar.
Yeah, no, he names a species, and I know the species. Talks about the politics of the time, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is all. So it's nice to kind of have that knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's cool to be there from the beginning of something.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've been playing D&D for a long time. I don't know a damn thing about it. I mean, I just go into everything going, well, I'm from a small village and know nothing of the world.
Yeah, no, and I get you, man. But it's nice to come at something where like I know a lot about it. I know about a lot about the storytelling of it all, and I'm just so excited to kind of like play this kind of like jaded, traumatized rabbit sniper. Like,
it sounds fun.
Yeah, you know, and it just. You can hear like I'm excited about it, and that's how much this tabletop stuff has meant to me lately. Is because I, you know, since the pandemic, you know, I haven't been able to like go to a location to work.
No, I understand.
I'm always teaching online and shit, so like my social interactions dropped precipitously.
We're it.
Yeah. So it's nice to be able to kind of get with a group and everything like that, and I think we'll be playing this for like a few months, and then I think we switch over to Pathfinder for a little bit.
You know, I've always wanted to try that.
I'm looking at Pathfinder because we each got a player's handbook for that, and I'm really kind of liking it. It feels a lot like... Are y'all doing
the new edition or first edition?
Second edition. Yeah, we're doing...
Okay, I've got a first edition book, so...
Well, and the thing I'm trying to figure out is what sort of character... I like to plan characters. I find myself doing that a lot. So I'm kind of torn between two goblins for Pathfinder.
Torn between two goblins. Sorry.
No, that's cool. So one is going to be a goblin rogue named Mock the Knife.
Oh, god damn it.
And the other one is a goblin alchemist named Dr. Boom. But he's not actually a doctor. He just named himself Doctor.
No, it's great. That's it. His first name is Doctor. His last name is Boom.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, you know, Rogue, pretty straightforward. Alchemist seems to be like complicated as fuck, but I kind of really want to play an alchemist. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I
mean, like,
yeah.
In our game, this is the first time I've ever played a magic user. Cause it's like, what do you want to play? Thief. I'm a thief. I'm always a thief. Gotta miss Paul and his bard. Yep.
I keep
me and him being the most annoying characters in a game.
God, man, I really want to play a bard sometime as well. I feel like bards would be dope. Because I know in Pathfinder you could play a skeleton, so I kind of want to play a skeleton bard and basically just base him off Brooke from One Piece.
Okay, no, I gotcha.
Yeah, because I find myself inspired by like certain characters and like, oh, I can probably like transplant that character.
You know, we got to work on your character for Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, I really want to, I have the rule books downloaded. I don't know if I should say that. But yeah, no, I'm really intrigued.
Perfectly legal PDFs.
We need to figure out like the setting. You know what I mean? Because it's
modern day.
Okay, we're doing like today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's modern day Arkham, Massachusetts. I always said it in Arkham, and it's always modern day because what about cell phones? Do you think that shit works around the mythos?
Okay,
Do you really think you're going to get near a GUG and you've got cell signal?
that could honestly be like an episode of this show as all of us like planning characters for Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
And like,
I don't know.
Well, okay, so here's how you can do it. If we want to do a session 0, what we did for this one was who, what, why. And what happens is the DM is leading us through, and then he would turn to one of us and put us in a position to tell us, to say something about another character. And they have to roll with that. So it was like yes and around the table, creating a situation where all of our characters came together.
Okay.
It
That's
was
interesting.
It was fucking ridiculous. At one point, we're trying to figure out if this guy with a lightsaber is an actual Jedi. So my character...
He stole one.
Yeah, so my character ends up just taking out his rifle and shooting at him.
To see if he can block it.
Yeah, and then he ends up, like, blocking the bolt, and then there was a joke about it, like, hitting someone down the road or something. But,
oh, God.
But, like, shit like that's a lot of fun. It was a very fun little system to... But it's kind of cool because you kind of try to paint someone into a corner and see how they wiggle out of it.
I think my 2 favorite characters I've ever had in Call of Cthulhu were both Mikes. The first one was a guy named Frank Rigby. He was a former police detective that, due to all the adventures I sent him on, had a phobia of being underground and in basements, and had a shotgun. And the rest of the players started nicknaming him Frank Howitzer Rigby.
Just blowing the mythos' heads off.
Yeah, no, because if there's one creature that is highly susceptible to shotguns, it's the Migo. And Mike was just like disintegrating the fungi from Yugoth.
What was the other character?
And then you threw what were those hairy
ghouls.
The ghouls at us that were like immune to bullets.
Yeah, they take like half damage to bullets.
So I was
and it was great because they show up and the way we were playing it at the time, I think I don't know if this has been taken out or not, but like if you fail a sanity check, you can make a knowledge roll. And if you fail the knowledge roll, it works as a sanity savings throw because you go into denial.
Yeah, you don't know what you just saw.
Yeah, so they're there. Warren fails his sanity check and then fails the no roll, pulls his revolver out and just goes, fuck that, that's a monkey, and starts shooting at the ghouls. But the other character Mike made was Vinny Two Thumbs Santiago.
He's basically Carl from Aqua Teen if Carl was a low-level mafioso.
That's amazing.
And again, my favorite thing that happened was I asked everyone to declare what they were going in with. And they're like, okay, I've got my revolver, got my sword, cane, and Paul's like, I got a garden gnome. And Paul playing Toby, the homeless guy, is like, I got a garden gnome and an outboard motor. And I was like, Mike, what you packing? And he goes, my swinging dick. And I know it's stolen, but God, it was so fucking funny. None of us expected it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
My favorite character I had was my punch mage.
Oh, God, in Scott's game, right?
So, yeah, he was a mage, and I don't know what it was, but the way the dice gods, like, panned out was all my magic failed. Like, shoot a magic missile, it does, like, nothing of damage. Yeah. But whenever I went to do physical attacks, ooh, boy, I rolled well because I was just, like, punching and kicking things to death.
Punching skeletons to death.
Back to death.
Yep. Yeah, punch mage. I forgot about that.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really do need to start like brainstorming the Call of Cthulhu thing, and just we can do like a session 0 or whatever for Distraction Hole, but then like do actual episodes on the Patreon.
For the
or
Patreon,
something.
yeah.
Just because I think that'd be a lot of fun. Just the three of us kind of Or,
And
bring someone else in too.
Yeah, well, I know there's at least 2 of our patrons are interested in playing. Ghost Forge has got, like, other things, but, like, no, we've got some patrons that would be interested in playing Call of Cthulhu, and if you would like to, you can join our Patreon.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you would end up GMing it?
Oh, yeah, no, I love running Call of Cthulhu because somehow, as funny as I am, I have got some horrifying ideas.
Oh yeah, like you've I feel like I would make a pretty good GM too, because you read the stuff I did for Darklands.
Yeah.
And that was some pretty horrific shit at times.
Oh yeah.
Like the
and
teeth,
the thing is,
the part where the guy is eating the teeth.
God damn it,
chewing
dude.
the teeth. Yeah.
And that's the thing. I don't do scary. I do disturbing.
Okay.
Yeah, like the I would steal crap from memes, like the weird ass thing out of Gary's mod where it was like on all fours and it was like a candelabra of the G-Man is like he had like 6 super long necks with the same head on each one just going, "You need me." Running at them. So they just ran out and burned the building down. They were literally too scared to fight it, so they burned the building down and went home.
You need me.
You need me. Oh, God. Well, I'm glad you've got this RPG thing you can do.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, I want to do more games and everything. I just find, like, my week is, so right now, I've got potentially 2 games a week. We record twice a week. Okay, so that's 4 days.
Yeah.
And then, for my classes, I'm offering, like, office hours.
Yeah.
So that's 6 days a week where, like, my evening is kind of taken up. I could probably fit stuff in, but it's, like, one of those, like, man, this is going to be a busy couple months for me.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yep. So, you got anything else you want to talk about before we move on to our game?
No, I think I'm good. I'll probably occasionally drop a Star Wars update because I really like the character. I'm really looking forward to.
Well, he seems fun.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Our game this week is one I came up with about 5 minutes ago. So, guys, if you were an action movie star and you had a catchphrase, like, hasta la vista, baby, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, what would your catchphrase be?
Okay. Please stop shooting me.
Oh, God, seriously?
Just running through every scene. Just please stop shooting me. I'm from the Jackie Chan school of protagonists who really don't want to be there.
So you're just running away and ducking.
Yeah.
And
I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. The other one would be, I implore you to reconsider.
Oh, that reminds me of one of my favorite lines from Picard, where he said, "You can test that." What was it? You can test that assumption at your leisure. Yeah. How about you, Mike?
So I feel like I can't steal not in the face.
Yeah, no, that was Arthur from The Tick.
So how about
Spoon.
capitalism is the root of all evil? Just constantly yelling that while I'm fighting.
In like a very capitalistic film, yes. That's great.
I like it. Yeah,
no.
The movie sponsored by Nike. You're wearing all Nike branding, yelling capitalism is the root of all evil. I like
Big old
that
Warner
idea.
Brothers action blockbuster. Capitalism is the root of all evil. Behead David Zaslav. Oh.
What about you, Kevin?
Probably just fuck your opinion as I'm shooting at people. Just like, I believe it's time for you to die, Mr. Heyman. Yeah, well, fuck your opinion. Blam, blam, blam. So that's mine. I just
maybe some alternate ones. How about all babies are ugly?
how could you how could you be so brave and tell the truth? All babies are ugly.
Out of my way, I got a shit.
I like that one, David. You just won, I think, on that one.
Just fucking gunfight, hiding behind a pillar, taking a couple shots. Oh, get out of my way, got a shit.
There you go. A hapless hero who all he wants to do is take a shit through the whole movie. It's like Die Hard, but
I think, okay, my backup, my other one is I didn't ask to be here.
oh, what are you supposed to be here today?
No, just standing there instead of like, I'm going to do over this shit. I never asked to be here.
Your other catchphrase can just be kind of going, like, doing a mental checklist of the shit you still have to do today.
Or just going, oh, boy.
I gotta pick up dinner.
God, fucking dry cleaning.
Just you're unloading a fucking clip into somebody. I still have to do dishes.
So guys, we don't have birthdays this week.
We do have.
Nobody had a birthday the last 30 days.
Well,
no one was born.
There are 2 birthdays that I know of. Alice Cooper.
Oh, really?
Alice Cooper and George Romero.
Well, happy birthday, George Romero. Alice Cooper, go fuck yourself, you right-wing son of a bitch.
We should probably mention Carl Weathers passing away.
Oh, God, yeah, no, that was sad. I've always loved Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Carl Weathers things was just on Arrested Development with him being so fucking cheap. You know, you go to Burger King and get refills anytime for free. Or you take a couple chicken bones, an apple, baby, you got a stew going. Just
goddamn.
it's have you ever seen that?
No.
Okay, look up.
And what show was that again?
Carl Weathers and Arrested Development.
I'll look it up because I'm not watching Arrested Development. I'll watch some clips.
Oh, it's great because like Tobias is trying to like get an acting coach, and Carl Weathers is there, and Carl Weathers like, oh, I can coach you through this, and Tobias like, well, how much would it be for lessons? Then he's like, well, how much do you have on you? Oh, I have $7. Perfect, it's $7. Just incredibly cheap Carl Weathers. It's the funniest fucking thing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I do have one little thing to bring up. We're recording this on February 5th. February 4th is a very, very important day because on February 4th is the anniversary of the day Emperor Norton declared himself Emperor of the United States of America and Protector of Mexico, the #1 patron saint of Discordianism. Declared his rule on this day. On that day. Sorry, not this day, but still.
Well, it's still a 4th
that's a
for
high
me.
holy day.
Yeah. So I'm still in the throes of the holiday here.
Yep. Nope. We're all in the throes of Norton Day. So, yep, that's the thing.
Okay, and, well, that raises a question. If you like, say you had the ability to just spontaneously declare yourself the ruler of a nation, but it couldn't be a superpower, what nation are you picking?
The Isle of Man.
My brain checked out. I need a repeat.
Okay,
if
so
you could sorry, David, go ahead.
No, so you have the ability. You've been granted a wish by a genie that you can spontaneously declare yourself the ruler of a nation, but it cannot be a superpower.
I'm changing my answer.
Yeah, which nation do you?
Madagascar.
That's a good one. I like that.
So no, U.S., China, Russia,
Nope.
Canada.
Canada. I don't know. What makes a superpower? Like are all European countries superpowers?
I'd say like
if they're in the European Union.
I don't know. Well, there's small countries in Europe you could
Yeah,
probably
that's fair.
have. Like,
Japan, I guess, is one.
Japan's a superpower.
Is Australia?
Yeah, they're kind of like the big name in the southeast.
Guess anyone with nuclear weapons.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Then how about... I took all the ones I was interested in.
What, Madagascar?
No, I mean the superpowers.
Wales?
No. Besides, they're not really an independent country.
They could be if you took over.
Yeah, that's fair. I will allow it.
The Republic of Texas.
Ugh, fuck that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess just a nice, island somewhere, tropical island.
Yeah. Let's just declare ourselves kings
The
of New
Sandwich
Zealand.
Islands.
Oh, there you
what?
go.
Yeah, Mike, you could have the Sandwich Islands.
Maybe something like Caribbean, where there's lots of rum.
Okay.
Jamaica?
Well, there's lots of Caribbean nations. Other
Yeah,
than
but
Jamaica.
Jamaica's where the rum really comes
No,
from.
there's plenty of other rum.
Barbados.
Yeah.
There you go. You get
several.
Barbados.
And
Too
I
many
will
zombies
pick,
there.
I will pick that big floating trash patch in the middle of the Atlantic.
Oh, God. I read a Lovecraftian story about that where it tried to eat him because it had become a god.
There you go, Kevin. You should have took Antarctica.
I don't want Antarctica. I know what's there under the ice.
But you could
Waiting.
command it.
You really think the elder things are going to listen to a goddamn thing I have to say?
Well, if you own Antarctica, why not? The genie's given you this wish, so
I just doubt.
you would have power. You'd have power over all the inhabitants of said. Admittedly, Antarctica is not actually a nation.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
a
right, it's
Well,
not.
it
landmass.
becomes incorporated as a nation when you become the sovereign of it.
Yeah, and everyone has to
I
bow
already
down
took
to you.
Madagascar, so I'm happy.
Which
Kevin just
Madagascar
wants-
seems like the best one.
Why? Because of the lemurs?
I wasn't thinking that, but now that you mention it, yes.
No, there's just a lot of neat animals there.
Well, and it's like a cool little island with cool animals and
Mighty Gascar.
Yeah, that also, it's because every time I play Risk, I ignore the rest of the board and it just becomes a fight over Madagascar. So everybody's like, God damn it, move. I'm like, no, this is my land. I'd almost forgotten Madagascar. I am the sovereign king of Madagascar, so. So yeah, that's it. Positive affirmation.
Can you tell we make these up on the spot?
Well, the problem
Sometimes.
is I normally have one, but like so much has been going on the last couple months. I don't know that I have a lot of positive in me at the moment.
Do you wish to
Kevin?
defer to another person?
Does anyone else have a positive way to end this show?
I think so. I think so.
Mike, have you got one?
I found a positive affirmation generator.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. I need to ask ChatGPT for one.
Well, this is like old school, just web generator. It's not AI as far as I can tell.
You know what? Actually, I take it back. I've got one.
Oh, okay.
I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And doggone it, people like me.
Kevin, this was positive affirmation, not lies. I'm just kidding. You know it.
Damn.
Don't give me that look.
I'm giving him the quivering lip look. That was mean.
I know, and that's why I did it, because, I can only do that with, you.
Yeah. Well, everyone, this has been the Distraction Hole. Good luck crawling out, and we'll see you the next time you trip and fall in. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Nighty night.
I'm Stuart Smalley.